I'm going to talk to you tonight about your why. It's kind of the theme of tonight, and we really and truly want you to work on this weekend. You know, when he's talking about his mindset and what Mike did for him and how he got him to open his mind and think different, you know, the mind's a funny thing. If it's closed, it doesn't work, folks. It's kind of like a parachute. You got to open it up or you're in trouble, okay? So we're going to try to get your mindset right here, and we're going to try to get you thinking the right things, and we're going to try to get you doing the right things. And this weekend, we want you to implement the things that we're training you from the stage, all right? So we really and truly want to work on your why and get you to understand how important it is. It's not almost everything in this business. It's truly everything in this business. It starts there. It's kind of like crawling before you walk, walking before you run. If we can't get the why right, you're not going to get the rest of it right. That's how important it is. So we're going to train some on that. I would say get your pads out, get ready, and let's see if we can get started here. So some of you, as I've traveled around, have seen some of this, but I'm going to kind of mix it up just a little bit and put a little flair to it and bring some things to you just a little bit different. But basically, if you take a look at the action plan for success and what we're trying to get you to understand, and like I said, some of you have already seen that, and it is posted over here. Yeah, correct. Okay. Now, there's 4 keys. If you look at the 4 keys, passion, commitment, coachability, and credibility, all right? This is going to create your success. And bottom line, folks, those 4 things have to get right. The passion is going to be talking about your why, all right? And I'm going to get into that very, very deep. But here's the key to you. Understanding that I can stand up here every single time you come to a convention. We can get up and talk to you. We can talk till we're blue in the face. But the real key is you've got to understand when you leave here, you've got to implement this. So, folks, it doesn't matter if today's your first day or if you've been here 2 years, if you've been here 16 months, you pretend it's your first day. All right? You pretend that tomorrow is your first day in this business, and in order to do that and do what we want you to do, you need to complete the following 4 keys within the first 24 to 48 hours. This is your first 24 to 48 hours. Again, just pretend that you're starting over. I always tell people nothing changes till something changes. What we have to change is the 6 inches here. All right? That's your mindset. That's where we've been programmed our whole life, folks, to settle. And see, what Refugio was up here talking about is he was taught to settle, but he finally got to the point that he felt like he didn't have to settle. There was something out there different. His children didn't have to settle. And when he drew that line in the sand, folks, that's when he changed his life. See, what we're talking to you about this weekend is you and your family, your legacy, what you're going to do, what you're going to build, how you're going to set up everything and leave behind. What's that going to look like? You've got to have a vision of what that's going to be. All right? And you've got to understand that that's not an easy task. That's not something you're just going to do half-heartedly and make it work. It's going to take a lot of energy, time, effort, so on and so forth. Now, the second step, folks, is when we get it to the 6 inches, the most important one is we get it to the 18 inches to your heart. See, you can't beat heart. That's where people mess up. They get their mindset right, but they really and truly don't get their heart in it. See, from this day forward, I want you to understand something. Andy said it as plain as it could be said earlier. Some of you missed it, some of you didn't. All right? Yes, Momentous is the most unbelievable opportunity. I've been doing this kind of business for over 35 years and fairly successful at it from most people's standards. All right? But bottom line, folks, this is the most unbelievable opportunity I've ever had the pleasure of being part of. So without a doubt, hands down, it's unbelievable because of everything that's being done on this stage behind me before I got here, from Ken Hardwick to Andy all the way down. It's an awesome opportunity. But you know, you're not going to get but so excited about an opportunity. You're not going to get but so excited about energy. You're not going to get but so excited about gas or EMS or M-Mobile or whatever. Yes, they're great products. Yes, they're awesome. Yes, the residual is there. Everything they say is 250% true. But from this day forward, folks, here's what I want you to get upset about. Here's what I want you to get your mindset on. Every single day of your life, you've got to get up understanding that you're in a fight against your financial poverty. Can I get an amen on that one? All right, that's what we're trying to get you to believe, and that's what we're trying to get you to understand. It's about you. It's okay to sit out there and clap for Refugio. He appreciates it, but what is that doing for you? Let's think about that, folks. You can clap when I come up here, but what's that doing for you? See, that's where that mindset gets to your heart. And I don't believe they've ever invented a device that you can measure the inside of a man or a woman and see whether or not they got heart. It's not there. Okay? You've just got to put them on the field and see what's going on. And that's what we're going to do with you. Okay? Now, passion equals your why. And again, there's nothing any more important than your why. That's where we start with this, and we talk about it over and over and over again. Some of you say, you know, I was in California the other day and the guy sat down and had lunch with me, and he's like, man, I get it and I hear it, but this why thing, man, I just don't. I've been in business for 35 years. I've done this, I've done that, but I really don't know why y'all talk so much about the why. And I said, chances are that's why you're not making it. That's why you're where you're at, because you haven't gotten it yet. I'm going to help you get it, all right? So your passion is your why. Motivation comes from within. Understand that, folks. We can get up and talk to you. You can feel like you can walk on water, but don't try it. You can't. When you leave here tonight, you can think, oh, man, this is it. But when you get up in the morning and you wash your face and you look in that mirror, there's it. That's it right there. That's what you can count on. Motivation comes from within. When you look in that mirror, folks, 99.99% of the time, there's the problem. Okay? So many people will say, I tried this, I tried that. Refugio, bless him, I'm going to keep referring to him because he did such an awesome job up here. All right? But I tried this one. I tried that one. I tried this one. I guarantee you, if you get him by himself and talk to him, in every single one that he attempted, there were successful people in that business. Am I right, Refugio? So the one ingredient or the one difference there, okay, was Refugio. And until he made his mind up that he was going to make it happen, that he wasn't going to accept failure, it didn't happen. And the same thing's going to happen for you, folks. So you got to understand, develop a why that makes you cry. That is so important. You hear us say it, and it sounds cliche-ish, and it sounds cute, and whatever. But I'm telling you, most of you don't have a why. Most of you can't, I can get you up here, and you can attempt to tell me your why, but it's going to be deep enough to get anything started. It don't even get you up early or keep you up late. Nobody's going to follow that why. Nobody's going to follow somebody that's not going anywhere. Nobody's going to listen to you if you're not talking about something that's so deep that they can understand it. It's not going to happen. Okay? So if it gets you up early and keeps you up late, then you got to write it out, share it with somebody that's going to hold you accountable. And folks, if you can't seize it, you'll never seize it. Very simple. Some of y'all will get that about 2 in the morning, I understand. All right? But if you can't see it, you can't grab it. Very simple. All right? But that step, I could stay up here till 6:30 and then turn you loose and talk on this one thing right here and never get all the points across that we need to get across. It is so important that you understand that. Now, the second part to this, folks, to this why, is your commitment. And commitment is all or nothing. And ask yourself a question to yourself. You don't have to answer it to us. You don't have to answer it to anybody else. When is the last time you committed to anything? All or nothing? Think about that. That's a big question, folks. People get involved in things. They get involved in church. They get involved in Boy Scouts. They get involved in whatever, but they don't commit to anything. That's a powerful, powerful word, all right? And I want every single person in here to do this exercise at some point this weekend. Let's just don't give it lip service. Let's implement it. That's the important thing. Remember what I said. If you don't implement it in the next 24 to 48 hours, it does us no good to teach it. The implementation part comes from you. It has to be you making the decision to do that. Now, if you look here on this left side, I got wants and needs. All right, it's very simple. Money, home, car, college, you put whatever you want to in there. All right, what you're willing to give up, time, money, energy, effort, that's up to you. But I can guarantee you this, folks, if there's a 0 under the give up side, there'll always be a 0 under the want and need side. No pain, no gain. It's not going to happen. You can't get the cart before the horse. All right, I've had people tell me that they want to make this amount of money, they want to do this, they want to do that, and then when I ask them how much time, Antoine, they're willing to give me, it's 15 minutes. It don't match. It don't match. It's not going to work. But see, we're not going to tell you what you need on this side. We're going to ask you what you need on this side. Then you tell us what you need. Now, for those of you that are trainers, for those of you, and let me explain a trainer. The day you hire your first person, the day you sponsor your first person, is the day you give up your right to remain average and ordinary. That's when you got a family counting on you, and you lead them in the right direction. You're going to be the example that they follow, good, bad, or indifferent. You need to understand that. Okay, so you got to set the right example. All right? So when you get these people to sit down and put this in here, it's so important that they understand what they're putting. Let me tell you how simple this can be. I remember years ago, folks, I'm talking 35 years ago, longer than some of you are old, okay? I remember sitting down, and the first thing I put on that left side right there is my why, is I wanted to be able to go in a restaurant and read the menu from left to right for once in my life. Can anybody relate to that? See, I got sick and tired of reading right to left. I was going down finding the price, coming over, and it was tuna fish again, because that's all I could afford. I wanted to go in and find that filet, Tim, and not worry about the price over here. That's what I wanted to be able to do. That's a big deal. Some of us get comfortable even in our jobs, and we're doing okay. All right? So we forget the little things like that. But there's people that would give their left arm to be able to go in that restaurant and read the menu like I just said. Those are the people we're looking for. Okay? The second thing I put on there was I wanted to be able to go to the grocery store and leave my calculator at home. Can anybody relate to that one? Why do I have to carry a calculator to the grocery store? Because I was broke. I didn't have no money. And I got tired, Refugio, of getting to the end of the line, and the steak had to go back, and the chicken had to go back, and the cookies had to go back, and the snacks had to go back, and there was peanut butter again. Because that's all I could afford. That was it. Folks, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll do something about it. Okay? So what you need to do this weekend is kind of relax a little bit, let your guard down, put your pride in your back pocket, humble yourself down, open your mind and listen to the speakers that are talking this weekend, because they're going to give you the clues, if you will. I agree with Refugio, there's no secrets. They're going to give you the clues of what it takes to make it happen. The key is if you receive them and then implement them. Okay? Now, on this exercise right here, folks, I can sit down with anybody in the room, and if you're willing, I can help you change your life. And once we teach you how to do that, you can sit down with people and help them change their life. All right? Now, I'm going to give you an example. Freddie, are you out there, buddy? Come on up here, man. How you doing, buddy?
Great.
Freddie Palazzo. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, folks, this gentleman right here, we just met. I mean, we've met through the months and whatever we've been in the business, right?
Correct.
Awesome dude. But we really got to know each other last week when I came out to California. All right? And they asked me to go do a meeting in Oakland, California. Mm-hmm. And Refugio was nice enough to line it up that this gentleman picked me up at the airport. We went over to his office. We got to know each other. We left there and went next door. We had lunch with him and his beautiful wife. We left there, came back. And folks, he took it serious with me coming there. All right, and I travel all over. Sometimes I get this reception, sometimes I don't. But this guy was awesome in what he did, and he took the liberty to set up a meeting at 2 o'clock at his office to train. And I want you to understand something. We trained from 2 o'clock. They felt so sorry for me, they kept asking me, did I want to take a break? Did I need some water? I said, I'm here to train. I'm here to work. Let's keep going. We trained for 5 hours. And by about 4 o'clock, they done got on the phone and text people, call people, whatever. We had over 50 people in the room by 4 o'clock. Eager to learn, eager to make a commitment, eager to figure out what it takes to change their life. Okay? But at lunch, I'll never forget it as long as I live. Freddie looked over at me and he said, Philip, he said, this why thing you keep talking about, and this why thing that Andy, he's got tears tearing up now, bless your heart, I love you, brother. This why thing that you guys are talking about, he said, I don't understand it. He said, I don't understand it. Now, he said, I've been in Rainbow vacuum cleaners for 35 years. Never made under 6 figures. Done very well. Successful. Nice home. This, that. Picked me up on a nice van. His wife come in on a nice Mercedes. They're doing okay. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, kids grown. Grandkids coming along. Kids doing college. All this stuff. Doing exactly what he was taught to do. He said, but I don't get this why. First year in the business, he made almost 6 figures his first year here when he walked away from the other one. So he knows what to do. He knows how to build a business. He just hadn't tapped into his heart yet. So I sat down with him. I said, I'll get it for you, man. I'll help you understand it. And you talking about a brave soul right here. This gentleman was sitting on the front row in our training, and he said, Philip, he said, do that for me. Let's draw my T. I said, Freddie, you sure, man? That's a scary thing to do in front of 50 people. I usually do that in private. No, sir. He said, I want to be the example. I want to be the example. I said, okay. And I 3 or 4 times I tried to stop him. He wouldn't stop. I said, okay. So, folks, I told him to give me his top 4 things. Now, his top 4 things on the left, he started with $10,000 a month. He said, I need to make $10,000 a month. I said, great. I'm proud of that. I wrote it down. He said, I need to pay my home off. I said, no problem. Write it down. I need a beach home, and that needs to be paid for. No problem. Write it down. I want to be in good health. No problem. Got it. I said, there's your top 4. I said, okay, now, that's the way most people think. That's some pretty good whys. That's some pretty good wants and needs. Would we agree with that? He wasn't even close. There's our problem, folks. That didn't get him up early and keep him up late, and it ain't going to get you up early and keep you up late. It's not about material things. We're missing the boat. So I said, are you sure you want to go through with this, Freddie? He said, yeah, I'll go through with it, and I'll do better than that. When you come to the convention, I'll go through with it in front of 1,000 people. I said, all right, you the man. So here he is, okay? I called him on it. He said, yeah, I'll be there. So I started at the bottom. Now, I'm not picking on him again. This is a brother from another mother. I love this guy already, okay? I looked at the bottom one, and I said, man, you told me you want to be healthy. He said, yeah. I said, dude, I ain't picking on you. I ain't ragging on you. But I said, we walked across to the Chinese restaurant and came back, and in that little short walk, you smoked 3 cigarettes. I called foul. You don't want to be healthy. He said, oh, wait a minute now. You didn't have to go there. I said, you asked me to. You asked me to. I said, if you want to be healthy, dude, it doesn't say may cause cancer. It says you're going to die on the pack. I'm sorry. I love you, man. I'm sorry. You got a wife, you got kids, you got a new grandbaby. It's up to you. Do it or not. I'm not mad at you, man. I'll walk 3 steps behind so you don't kill me. I'm okay. Okay? So he was like, well, I guess I ain't taking that serious, am I? I said, well, it's yours, not mine. You can mark it off. You can start over. You can give me another one. He said, no, that's important. I said, then make the decision. It's your decision, not mine. Give it up. So he said, I said, let's just mark that one off because you ain't going to give it up. You waiting to get out down there to get one. Okay? So I said, now let's go to the second one. Let's go to the second one. The second one is you need a retirement home at the beach. I said, you ever had one of those? No. You really need one? Well, it'd be nice. I said, it'd be nice, but do you need one? I mean, is your house you live in there okay? He said, yeah, I'm comfortable. I said, okay, you're comfortable? I said, so it'd be okay if you don't get that, right? He said, well, I'd like to have. I said, but it's okay, right, if you don't get it? He said, yeah, it's okay. Forget about it. I said, all right, so we mark it off. I said, now, the one you're living in now. I said, I don't know how y'all, you're probably in your 40s. I said, you've probably been paying a house payment all your life, right? He said, yeah. I said, ain't so bad, is it? He said, well, no, not really. I said, you make enough money to pay your bill? Yeah, we're okay. I said, so do you really want it paid off? It's the only tax break you got. You really want it paid off? He said, well, no, I don't have to have it. I said, okay, then that ain't going to get you up early and keep you up late. I said, now you need to make $10,000 a month. I said, I don't know what you're making now. You say you're making close to 100. I said, that don't take but about $8,666 a month to make $100,000 a year, and 66 cents to be exact. I said, bottom line, you're doing okay. Good cars, you're home, kids, they've grown, they're done. I said, you okay? You go out to eat, you take vacation. He said, yeah, I'm okay. I said, do you really need 10,000? He said, well, I guess I don't. I said, okay then. So we marked that off. I said, now dude, what is it? There's nothing to get you up early and nothing to get you up late or keep you up late that even counts, that even matters. I said, let me talk to you. I said, where are you from? And answer that. Where are you from?
Argentina.
How'd you get here?
Well, through a plane 29 years ago.
Okay. Now, when you came, I said, did they have banners out saying, welcome, Freddie, we got a job for you? Nope. And what did you say to me? You said, I ain't thought about that in 35 years. I don't want to think about it.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, I said, where did you live?
In a very small place.
And what was that small place? Was it mobile?
Pretty much.
Like a car?
Yep.
Okay. So I said, okay, now we're getting somewhere, dude. I said, what did you eat? You didn't have a job. What did you eat?
At one point, I in my life, I had to eat. Well, I didn't know about any of the government help and all that kind of stuff that existed in this country, and which was okay. Thank God that I didn't know. So one time I told myself, okay, if I put popcorn in my tummy and I drink water, my tummy will tell me that I'm okay, and I'll go that way. And I did the stupid thing for 7 days until I passed out. And when, really, that's exactly when he hit me. I said, this is it. I've been working with Momentis for about a year. I was working for the other company for 25 years. I did okay, spoke and trained and a lot of people, but nothing made me remember how tough it was to live through that time. And when Philip said that, goosebumps were in my body, my stomach started going like this, start having tears in my eyes, and all of a sudden I say, you know what, I wish I would know this why, to remember this again. But I guess it was something that it was so hard for me that I put it on the side. I made money and it was like gone. And I really wanted to thank you very much for touching that spot, because from that day on, we changed some of the stuff that we were doing. Even last night, I was coming back home at around 11:30 from a presentation, about an hour and a half from the house, and then this morning we left to come over here at around 12:30 because we were coming in a van with 20 people from my area. That, by the way, give them a hand. They are back there. And I said, you know what? This is it. This is it. I finally found something that will really make me get up early in the morning, which I normally don't do. I normally get up at around 10 o'clock. Since that day, I get up at around 8. And go late, well, I didn't have a problem with that. I normally go to bed at around 2 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't have a problem with that. But work hard, work hard. When I hear Refugio, and I heard Refugio the first time, I said, my God, this is amazing. This is amazing what you can do. I mean, I was getting used to, I guess, to $100,000 a year, which I've done it for like 6-7 years in the last 6-7 years of my life. But when he started showing me those checks, and I started falling in love with the check, and I noticed how big of a mistake was this last year with Momentis thinking about the money. And thank you again for making me think about the why. That really got to me.
Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, folks, that's what I want you to understand, the difference. And when I left, this dude hugged my neck. He was crying. He got up at 7 o'clock that night and started his meeting out, and he told the people in the room that by that time there was almost 100 people in the room. And he said, I haven't told this story publicly in 35 years. And tears was coming down his cheek. And his team listened, and they stood up and gave him a round of applause, and they backing him because of his why. So, folks, if we can get that deep if we can get you folks to understand it's not money, it's not homes, it's not cars, it's not material stuff. You know, I tell people everywhere I go, I've never seen a hearse going down the road with a U-Haul behind it. It don't happen. You come here with this and you leave here with this. That's it. The rest of it don't count. So get your why right, folks. Get some time this weekend. If you got to look me up, I don't care. If you got to look Tim up, if you got to look Antoine up, we're here to help. Willie, wherever he is. You know, we'll help you, folks. But it starts with you to understand that it's just not material stuff that we're talking about here. We're trying to get inside of your heart and soul and get you to understand that that's how you change your life, and that's what gets you up early and keeps you up late. So please understand when we talk about why, that's what we're talking about. Now, when I say commitment, I'll go through this kind of quick. Oh, they changed the pictures up a little bit. I always have to say that's not my house, but that is my house. Thank you, Rocket. Okay, be specific on what you want. When we talk about houses, cars, college funds, all of that stuff can be there, folks. But again, it starts in here. All right, and all of that stuff's great. And I tell people, community projects, you can see us out there helping people, doing things, extra income to give away and help others. You know, it's amazing. But my wife and I, sitting right here on the front row, okay, we give away more money than a lot of people make. And am I saying that to brag? No. But I want people to understand charity starts at home. Get your home right first. See, so many people get that out of order, that they want to do this, do this, do this, and save the world, and they think it's okay for them to go under. That's not true. That's not the book I read. It doesn't read that way, okay? And I think I read the same one Refugio does, all right? Sound like the one he's reading from is mine, okay? Now, be specific on what you're willing to give up, like we talked about, the time, energy, effort, hours, whatever, and they got to match, folks. See, we'll never say to you that you got to work 60, 80 hours a week and you got to travel all over the country and you got to do all the stuff that we do. We'll never say that. What we'll say is, as long as this side matches that side, it works. And if it's your goal and it's what you're willing to commit to, that's what we're looking to get you to do, okay? And then we can progress that and move it up. This one right here, folks, is going to get about half of the room, because when I look out and they turn the lights up and I can see there's gray hair, no hair, young hair, old hair, okay? It's all kinds out there. Now, let's be honest. Do we like being told what to do? The answer is no to that, and I don't even have to see you raise your hand. All right? So coachability is a big step, folks, in making it happen for you and your family. And all that is simply being willing to accept the direction and listen to constructive criticism. Now, what do I mean by that? Folks, it's very simple. We want to help you, but if we say turn left and you turn right, we have no clue where you're going. We can't help. Okay? So coachability is so, so important. An example that I give people, let's say that everything we wanted to do, all right, is right behind that stage right there. And this little stage place right here is all that separates us from what we want to do. That's all kinds of toys, boats, you name it. Anything we want to do is right over there. All right? And all of that is protected by this stage. The only way to get through it or to it is here. And this stage belongs to me. It doesn't, but right now it does. Okay? Now, this is my stage, and to protect everything that I got over there to keep you from getting to it if I don't want you there, I put in a minefield. Okay? Now we're getting serious, right? And that minefield, I know where the mines are. So if you're going to follow me over here to play and have fun and do everything we want to do, and I turn around and say, let's go this way. Are you going that way? It ain't going to work too good when that leg gets blown off, is it? It ain't going to work too good when you hit that mine. If I know where they're at, you're going to follow me, right? That's all coachability is. And folks, I'm telling you, this front row up here, this TPC members, and now the President's Council that we're bringing up, these folks know where the mines are. All you got to do is listen and pay attention, and we'll give you every single thing you need if you follow the instructions. We're not going to hurt you in any way. Constructive criticism just means I've already done that. Please don't do that. Let's go this way. And we can help you if you listen. But that's a tough one for people to get across. All right? Very tough. First step to coachability is, and I tell people, I'm not the smartest thing in the world. I learned to copy. Tim taught me that. All right? I learned to copy. This came right out of Think and Grow Rich, page 36. Your goals are your first step. How many of you, and I can see your hands, how many of you actually got your goals? Short term, long term, all of that's written out. Okay? It takes it to about 6 steps here. Fix in your mind exactly what you want. We talked about that one, whatever the examples are. Be specific to be dynamic. Okay? Determine what you intend to give up to get it. Money, time, energy, effort, establish a definite date of when it's going to take place. All right? So understand this. Understand that we're not promised tomorrow. That's why you got to establish a date. See, I've had people tell me, I want to make $1 million, Tim. Bottom line, I say, okay, you're about 19, 20 years old. I seen a McDonald's on the corner over here that basically said, help wanted, go get you a job and you'll make $1 million. I said, you can't make $1 million at McDonald's. I said, yeah, you can. You got 60 years to work. You're only 20. By the time you get there, the age is going to be 80. You'll make it. They're like, no, I need it tomorrow. Oh, you need it tomorrow. You want to be specific here. Okay? Now we got to get started now. See the difference? So, folks, you got to really and truly understand all of these things. Create that definite game plan. Begin at once. Write the goals down. Be sure to be clear and precise. And get an accountability partner. Folks, that's so important. Accountability partner is not your friend. It's not your next-door neighbor. It's not somebody that really and truly loves and cares for you. Because that person will console you when things go wrong in your life. It's okay, honey. It's okay. We'll be okay. We'll lay right here in this ditch together. We're okay. I got you back. Don't worry about it. See, that's and they do love you. But folks, they don't want to see you get ahead. Now, I don't mean that in an ugly way. I got sisters. I got brothers. Bless their heart. When we say bless their heart back home, we can talk about them. Okay? They're on disability. Am I mad at them? No. Do I love them? Yeah, they're my family. But they chose that. They chose that. They chose to retire. They chose to live in mobile home parks. Am I mad at them? No. But I showed them the same opportunity. They were not willing to do anything, and they didn't want me to succeed. There was questions and things that come out of their mouth to him like, do you really want to do this? What, do you think you're better than we are? Do you want to do that? That's what your friends and people say around you, folks. What did they say earlier? You drinking the Kool-Aid. What did Refugio? I love what he said. They're washing my brain. Brainwashing. Any way you want to say it, we all understood what he was talking about. They're washing my brain. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. Folks, see, you're going to leave here this weekend and go home, and people are going to say, I told you not to go over and listen to them people. You know you can't do that. You know you're not going to make $1 million. You know you're not good enough to be who they are. You hear that everywhere you go. Am I right or am I right? Folks, don't listen to that stuff. Don't pay attention to that. But your accountability partner needs to be somebody like me or Antoine or Tim or somebody like Mike Adams that says, shut up and get it done. That's an accountability partner. That's somebody that cares enough about you not to want you to fail, that believes in you when you don't believe in yourself. That's who you need holding you accountable. So find you an accountability partner. It could be your upline, it could be your sideline. Folks, I got tons and tons of friends in here that are not even in my organization. It doesn't make any difference. We'll hold each other accountable. We call each other. We talk. Uplines, downlines, sidelines, front lines, it don't matter. Then read this stuff out twice a day, folks. Once when you get up, once when you go to bed. And the important thing is that you already see it happening. See, I want to ask you a question, folks. What does your organization really look like? Can you see it? Can you really and truly see it? I can promise you 35 years ago, when I started my first business, I started it with 3 people and it was in a phone booth. Those 3 people were me, myself, and I. But you could not convince me that it wasn't going to work. You couldn't convince me that it wasn't going to happen. You know, you seen a picture of the house. Folks, I started drawing pictures of that thing 30 years ago. When I went out and got my vision expanded, when I was sold a dream, and I saw the Biltmore house in North Carolina with, I don't know how many, it was like 28 bathrooms. And at the time, I'm living in a house that didn't even have a bath. And this one was built in the 1700s, and this was 1976. I'm like, I'm way behind time here. Something's going on. People lived like this back in the 1700s. So I started drawing out what my dream home was going to look like. And folks, I started putting things together, and if you come to my house, there's people that's come, I show you things. I bought stuff before I even started the foundation of the house because I knew where the walls were going to be. I knew where everything was going to be at. I knew where the fireplace was going to be. I knew what was going over top of it. I knew where the pond was going to be. I knew I needed fish over top of that one. So I was buying pictures without walls. Okay? But I understood it, and I already seen it happening. So that's very, very important, folks, for you to understand that. Credibility, practice what you preach. All we say there, folks, is purchase the products and approach your business with honesty and integrity. I said it earlier, that's all we got. That's it. That's the bottom line. All right? And folks, the last company I built, I had to leave that company. We were doing great. Okay, I'll throw a number at you. At our peak, we were making, it was 3 of us, we were making over $650,000 a month each. That's some pretty serious money. Okay? Until it got to the point that I got sick to my stomach when I got up on stage, because I was the face of that particular company, like Andy is of this one. All right? When I got up on stage and I knew in my heart of hearts that I was selling people a dream and they were going to live a nightmare, I couldn't do it anymore. It was over. When that opportunity was less of an opportunity for you to walk through the door than it was 2 years ago when he walked through the door, I couldn't sell it anymore. I said, I'm done. It's over. I got to sleep at night. I got to look in the mirror. I got to see me. Honesty, integrity. I said, you got to buy me out or we got to change this company back. I'm not going to stand in front of people. $33 million later, he owned it. I was tickled to death, and he was too. Okay? And he proceeded to run that company from 5,000 apps a week down to 1,900 a week, and he's still going down. But that's okay. As long as he keeps paying me what he owes me, we're okay, Antoine. You know what I mean? All right. Use your upline, folks. That's so, so important. Your upline's your lifeline. These events that we do is your lifeline. You build a business event to event to event. You work through your upline. Nothing upsets me more than to hear people standing around out in the hall talking about their upline. To hear people call me and say, my upline stinks. I said, well, that's your direct upline. You got another one, right? Go to him. Go to her. Makes no difference. Excuses don't count. Turn it into a reason. I don't want to hear it. I said, if you're talking about your upline, guess what? Your downline is talking about you right now at the same time. You know why? Because you just set the example. Very simple. So, folks, let's don't do that stuff. Now, when we say purchase the product, folks, here's the thing. And Ken got out here. Ken Hardwick said it perfect. With the products and the customers and what we're looking to do with the company, it's unbelievable, folks. But the products that we want you to purchase, it wouldn't make any sense. Cammie's sitting right here on the front row. It wouldn't make any sense if I'm talking to her and I say, you need to get DirecTV, and I know in my heart of hearts she don't even have a TV in her house. Now, would that make any sense? But let me tell you what wouldn't make any sense. If she's got a TV and she works here, it wouldn't make any sense not to have DirecTV. Hello? Just reverse it, okay? If you're calling, you need, these things, clear internet. If it's where you're at and you got something else, why would you have something else if you work here? So it's just integrity. See, don't drive up in my driveway driving a Volkswagen trying to sell me a Mercedes. It ain't going to work, folks. You don't believe. You don't believe in what you're doing. Don't come to me and I say, that immobile thing, does it work? Yeah. How do you know? Show it to me. Well, I don't have it. Well, what do you mean you don't have it? Folks, for $19.95 a month, just have it. So, yeah, it works. Try it. Here it is. Call. Learn it. You can't sell something that you don't believe in. People can look in your eyes and smell a phony a mile away. You've got to understand that, folks. All this is getting you prepared for where you need to be mentally, understanding what's going to drive you, and then making it happen. Very simple. Now, I'm going to run through these, folks. The next steps, and I really and truly want to read this one to you because I don't want nobody to miss it. All right? The following steps are crucial for you to master. Not look at, not learn, not familiarize yourself with, master. They will determine the future growth of your organization as your downline follows your example. Understand this. You're going to set the example, good, bad, or indifferent. And if you don't master the 10 steps, it's not going to work. And what are you teaching your people? See, that's the question we have to ask ourselves. Let me give you an example that doesn't make any sense. If I sponsor Tim Sparkman, and the next day after Tim does all his paperwork, Antoine, puts everything together, I take Tim down to the mall. I said, Tim, here's how we do this business. Let's stand over here pretty close to this escalator. It's coming up. And all of a sudden, Antoine's coming up the escalator. I stick my foot out and trip him, and he hits the floor. I say, man, I'm so sorry. Let me help you up. Come on over here and sit down. While you're sitting here, let me show you this opportunity, man. Take a break. Now, that's a bad example. But that's an example, isn't it? Now, if that's what I teach this young man to do, I just set him up for failure. All right, and believe it or not, we probably got people teaching that technique. All right, but that's not the technique we want people to be taught. Because they're going to do less than 1/10 of 1% of what you do anyway, and if you do it wrong, they don't have a shot at getting it right. And what did I say earlier? The day you get your first person in, you give up the right to remain average and ordinary. We can't teach him. We got to master to be the right example, not the wrong example. Okay? Now let's go through this. 10 steps. Believe it or not, I meet people everywhere I go that can't get number 1 right. You got to get into business, folks. We're good, but we're not great. We cannot steer a parked car. Y'all will get that in about 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? You got to get in and start going somewhere before we can help you. I've been to meetings like this, folks, with 100, 150 people in the room, and see somebody sitting on the front row, shake hands, smile with them, leave, come back 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they're still sitting on the front row, shake hands, smile, how you doing? Well, I'm still researching. Say, what? You still researching? When I left here, you was excited. When I left here, I thought you was in. Well, I had to Google it and do that. Well, Google this. I mean, come on. This is you hearing the company? You hearing what's behind us? You understand what's going on in the industry and who Just Energy is inside of the industry? And you think you're going to Google us and find out something that the New York Stock Exchange didn't find out? I don't think so. Keep Googling. That's what got you broke, okay? Get into business. Now, you got to become qualified to earn your income. You'd be surprised if people miss this one. You set the example for your team by obtaining your website, purchasing the products and services that fit your needs. Again, if you ain't got a TV, don't worry about that one. Get something else. All right? But get the products that fit your need. Go out and sell to customer. Go out and qualify and do what you do. Do you understand the promos that we have constantly? Do you understand that 10 customers in 15 days get you $1,000? You understand 3 people in get you $900 instead of $300? You understand that Refugio said we didn't have triple mentor, we didn't have double mentor, we didn't have 16 products. All we had was DirecTV. And he's the number 1 earner in the company and went out and put that thing together with that and everything we got, and we don't do it? It don't make sense, does it, Antoine? I don't understand it. I don't understand why you set the bad example for your team. See, if you're going to recruit me, Clifton, and you tell me that I can go get 10 customers in 15 days, and I can go get 3 people, and I can put $1,900 in my pocket, my first question is, Clifton, did you do it? Well, no, I didn't do it, Ma. Well, what you just told me is it can't be done. But if you say, yeah, I done it, here's my check. I'm going to say, how do you sign me up for this thing? How do I get started? I'm following somebody that did that. What can they do for me? Teach me how to do it. Example again, okay? Familiarize yourself with your back office. Folks, this is so important. To answer the question, this is probably the most one we get, and I know Andy was just talking today in the President's Club about the same stuff, okay? People will ask us about a product, they'll ask us about something that's going on, and we know in our heart of hearts the answer's in the back office. The answer's in the back office, which tells us you're not looking, you're not researching, you're not becoming a student of the business. All right, and what you're doing is you're handicapping your team when you do that. Understand, when Andy stands up here and says we got 80-some thousand people, just short of 90,000 people, how do you staff for that? Think about it if you were running that company. How do you staff to answer 90,000 people's questions at any given time all day long? You can't, folks. Your profit's gone. All right? But we got a great staff. We got an awesome staff. We got people in place that do an amazing job. But what you're going to do is get your brand new person in the business. You're going to send them to rep services to answer all the questions. They're going to get on the phone with a simple question that you should be able to answer, and they're going to get a 3-hour wait, and the next time you call them, they've quit the business, and you don't understand why. And you just handicapped them because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Remember what I said. They're counting on you for the financial future of their family. Do it right, folks. The stuff is back there. Familiarize yourself, understand the business, and help people to understand the business. Review this stuff, download it, and use it to train with the people when you have your meetings. As leaders, what are we training on? What do we talk to our people about week in and week out? Over and over and over again. These are the things that we need to be talking about. These are the things that we need to be putting in their hands and equipping them with to understand how to grow their businesses. All right? Now, you must believe to achieve. Plug into our mentorship program. I've never seen one like this, folks. Our back office has unbelievable videos, audios. Every phone call is taped. People say, well, I can't get on the Monday call because I work. Do you realize it's back in the audio section and it's taped? So when you get off work, how about getting on it then? What's up with that? Okay? It's there, folks. Go back there. Don't expect somebody to listen to it and explain it to you. How'd you grow up thinking that's supposed to happen? Okay? Go back there and get it. All right? Now, the personal development CDs, DVDs, books, postcards, podcasts, Success Magazine. Everybody in here signed up gets the Success Magazine, right or right? Y'all open them? I go in homes and see dust on them. I go in homes and open them up, and it makes me so, how does Andy say it to be real nice? Angry, but I don't want to get angry at people. That's a bad word. It upsets me. I just reach in there and rip out the CD and say, look, there's 4 of the top people in the entire United States, maybe the world, that's telling you what you need to do, and it's been sitting here for 2 months on your couch, and you're not even listening to it. What's up with that? Folks, do you realize if you turn your car or your truck into a rolling university, that you can plug in this information that we put in there for you for free, and just going to school to drop off your children, just going to the market to pick up something, just going out to eat that once a week, just our ordinary stuff. Don't take no trip and go nowhere now. Just right around the house, back and forth, what you doing. In 1 year, if you turn off the Dixie Chicks and turn that on, you will get the equivalency of a 4-year degree in self-improvement. What's that worth to you? You can't, thank you, sir. You can't put a price on it. Okay? Can't put a price on it. And it's all there for you. Okay? And some people don't understand that that in itself is worth way more than the $24 we spend for our website. You know, don't even get me started on that one. Okay? Step number 6. The next 5 steps are the last 5 steps, folks. And these are your money makers. If you hadn't listened yet, listen now, please. Number 6, build your list. Write the names of your contacts down. And the second step to that right there is do not qualify your list with your opinion. Your opinion does not count. Okay? You need to understand that. See, you can't start and go down the line and say, okay, my A's here, B's here, C's here. They ain't going to work. Okay, this one will work. Nope, this one won't. Yeah, this one will. No, this one won't. Who gave you that right, folks? Who gave you the right? What do you want to do? Wait until your friend that lives right next door, you see the for sale sign go up because they lost their home? Is that when you want to talk to them? It's too late. Who gave you the right to decide who will and who won't? Remember what I said earlier? There's no device out there that you can measure the heart of a man or a woman. All you can do is put them on the field and put a jersey on them and see who can play. Everybody ain't going to play, but everybody on the field is important if you ever played sports. Somebody's got to bring the water, right? That's important. Somebody's got to be on the bench in case somebody gets hurt. Somebody's going to be first string. But the coach don't look at the first day and say, you too pretty, you too ugly, you too small, you too big, you too this, you too... He puts the jersey on all of them and puts them on the field and finds out who's got it and who don't. That's our job, folks. That's our responsibility. Okay? That's our God-given responsibility, the way I look at it, all right? So do not qualify them, okay? Those that you think will, won't. Those that you think won't, will. It's so backwards. So backwards. If you looked at our front row up here at the TPC members, and I'm looking out through here, man, that's a view, okay? But how in the world would I look and say that one's a stud, and that one ain't, and this one is, and that one ain't? You just can't do it. So be very, very careful here, folks. Just put them on the list and call people. That's all you can do, okay? That's just a memory jogger, folks, to help you come up, and you can come up with your own memory. Who do you know that needs extra income today in today's economy? Everybody. That's the way we say it back home. Everybody. Okay? Who do you know has done network marketing at some point in their career? Everybody. All right? Who do you know that lives across the street? Who lives on the right? Who lives on the left? Who did you go to school with? On and on and on and on. Now, I'll go to the first one at the top right here. Who do you know that's center of influences? Promise you, folks, we can take that one right here, come to Anaheim, California, in your backyard, and kick your butt to your nosebleeds with that one. Okay? Center of influences will build your business. I've been doing it for 35 years. I have no problem picking the phone book up. My wife says there's no such thing as a phone book anymore, but I have no problem picking the phone book up and looking through there and finding pastors and calling them up. Say, Pastor Stan, this is Philip Hudgens. I know you don't know me, but bottom line, I know you care about your congregation. Is that right, sir? Absolutely, that's right. Who did you say you are? It's Philip Hudgens. I'm new in town, and I'm building a business, and I need your help, sir. Can you help me? Well, how can I help you, young man? I know you got a lot of people in your church that could use an extra income, maybe an extra $500 a month, and I know you know who's hurting because they come to you as a pastor. Am I right or am I right? Yes, sir, son, you're right. I don't need to know their situations. I don't need to know how bad they're hurting. I don't need to know what's going on with their marriage, any of that stuff. I'm not asking for personal information. I'm just asking you if you'd spend 10 minutes with me, let me buy you a cup of coffee, let me sit down with you, and let me help your congregation. Now, what pastor is not going to help his people? The one that's truly not a pastor. No offense. That ain't my judgment call either. Okay? But of course they're going to help them. Center of influences are coaches, teachers, principals. Folks, what are you doing if you're not doing that? How much, I don't know, soap operas or whatever can you watch? Okay? I mean, during the daytime, folks, what are you doing? Nothing changes till something changes. What's got to change is this. And what you've got to understand is there's people out there that'll help you. That's a nasty little word in our society, help. Y'all figured that one out yet? Because you have to humble yourself down and ask somebody to help you. And we're just not brought up that way. We're prideful. And again, the book I read says pride cometh before the fall. Okay? So bottom line, folks, that's not a good way to be. I don't mind asking anybody to help me if I need help. You ask people for help, they will help you. So it's very simple. Number 7, contact, invite, and master the invitation. Folks, do not confuse this. The invitation is the invitation. It's not the presentation. Now, I teach people that you got to develop an overwhelming power statement that creates a response that said, sounds pretty good. How do you do that? For me, when I'm doing the discovery, I simply say, do you currently have a game plan in place that'll get your family where they want to be or where you want them to be financially? If they say no, would you be interested if I could show you one? Take 10 minutes. Either give me your name and number and I'll call you back, or let's sit down right now, I'll buy you a cup of coffee, and it'll take me 10 minutes to draw it out and show it to you. Simple. Very simple. Okay? Now, if they do have one in place, God bless them. It's okay. Most people do not. All right? But bottom line, folks, when you master the invitation, all right, and you invite prospects to a qualified meeting, what is a qualified meeting? See, this is training, folks, and we need to understand this stuff. It's a one-on-one. It's a hotel room meeting. It's a meeting in their home within 3 days after you sponsor them. It's a convention like we're in right now. It's a phone call with your upline, a 3-way call. It's a conference call. It's whatever. But you're inviting them to get the information. Okay? But once they accept that, you see that big stop sign right there? Stop. Folks, we're like a kid at Christmas with a new toy. We can't put it down. And that's the biggest mistake we can ever make. If you could picture this, invitations here, presentations here, and all that in between right here is Death Valley. Stay out of it. It will kill you. Okay? Invite. Become a professional inviter to get them in front of the information. Use your upline to give them the information. What people do not realize is you to your people are not the expert as much as you want to think you are. You're as smart as anybody in the room. You're as sharp as anybody in the room. We're not trying to say that. But if Tim Sparkman runs pawn shops and a relief company, and all of a sudden tomorrow he wakes up and calls me as his best friend, and now he's an expert in energy, I don't think so. What happened to you, Tim? Did you have a bad dream last night? What happened? That ain't what you do. How are you going to tell me how to save money on my light bill? What happened? So he doesn't have the credibility with his frontline people. Anybody with a briefcase 5 miles from home is an expert. Whether we believe it or not, it's true. So what's going to happen is, if he will invite them to get me in front of them, now he tells them I can walk on water, although I can't. We're going to get them convinced this is the thing to do. But guess what? When they get somebody, now Tim's the expert. So don't panic, folks. You're going to be the expert too. You just got to grow into that. And your second line, you're the expert, because they don't know you. Does that make sense? So we got to teach you that, folks. We got to get you to understand that. Number 8, in-home presentations. Again, you sponsor people. Within the first 3 days, you need to be doing one of these. Now, I don't mean to be crude, rude, or indifferent, folks. But bottom line, if I sponsor you and in 3 days you can't get me 5 or 6 of your closest friends to your house, if I'm bringing the cookies, we got a problem. Okay? You're probably not my man, or you're probably not my woman, if that ain't going to happen. Think about how simple that is. I'm taking a look at something. I'm excited about it. What is it? I don't know yet. Well, how come you don't know yet? Because that's what the meeting's for Friday night. Come on over. My guy's coming. He's going to explain everything. Very simple. Okay? Follow up and follow through. Folks, if I've said anything that's important, this is it. You don't GET because you don't ASK. You get so nervous once you've set up people and you got 10 people that's supposed to show up and they don't show up this week, and you say, I know they're coming next week, and you just sit around and wait for them to come next week. That you don't want to call them and go ahead and confirm and get it behind you, because you don't have anybody else to call. All right? But putting it off ain't going to work. You say, I don't want to bother them. Well, again, you're not bothering them. You've got something that's going to change their life. So bottom line, folks, call the people back. Follow up with them. Get back in touch with them. Get back in front of them. Very simple. And number 10, repeat steps 6 through 9. Folks, that's the most important one on the whole page right there. And I'm going to give you an example, and then we're going to close it down here. Okay? The example is this. I remember the last company I was in before I built my company. All right? And I remember sitting in a hotel room at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was trying to figure out, Tim, what was going on inside of that business. And another gentleman owned the business. He was in insurance, and he was doing $2.5 million in premium a month inside of his company. So I sat down and I started analyzing. And I looked, and there was 15 people front line. So if I filled up that front row right there, this gentleman, unnamed, had 15 direct people. So I started looking at his people. One of them had 2 people. One of them had 3 people. One of them had 1. One of them had lost all of them. One of them had done all the way down. So when I took 14 of them collectively, they were doing $500,000 a month in premium. I looked at one over here on the corner, which happened to be me. We were doing over $2 million of his $2.5 million. That was a little lopsided. 14 people doing a half, one team doing $2 million. So I said, how'd that happen? I looked at my team. My team was 15 wide, just like his. My team, every single person was 5 to 7 wide, all the way down. It's like spinning plates. You just keep them going. What happens is we get people in the business, and we get 2 or 3 of them, and we hover over them, and we manage them right out of business. Biggest mistake we could ever make. You keep going wide, they'll go deep, and that's how you build an organization. So when I left that company and started my own, I went 40 wide and taught each one of them to go 5 to 7 deep, and that's why they paid me $650,000 a month. Very simple formula. You go wide, they go deep. If you're not going wide, what example are you setting? That's what we got to understand, folks. People aren't going to do what you say, they're going to do what you do. They're watching you very close. All right? So it's time for us to take our excuses and turn them into reasons and make it happen. Excuses don't count in the big league. Very simple. All right? So, folks, I think we've had a very good kickoff. That's the 10 steps that I wanted to go over with you.